You know, fun fact.
What?
You know what that little dot's for?
What's the red dot for versus the yellow dot?
So the yellow dot, you're supposed to get as close to the valve as soon as you can.
So what's the red dot?
I don't know.
I'm ready, but I have no idea what we're doing. I need the Swede. Where's the Swede?
We're just out here getting it done.
Do you need to seek medical attention?
I think so.
I might lose my temper.
That's a prostate.
You'll find out.
Forward! That didn't take much.
Larson?
You never know what we're gonna get into, right, Dougal? Ah! You're in the rhubarb! I'm having fun. Man, they must have got up early today. Look at that. That's what $1,800 buys you nowadays. That's that broke yesterday. Jordan took a road trip and got that new part. We've had issues in this area in the past. Disappointed that it's so expensive, but I'm also glad that this is new because there was a lot of issues with it. So today there'll be no corn planting. We are pretty much wrapped up with that. Got 100 acres to go. That field is kind of a wetter one, and so it'll be towards the end of the week. But we're gonna continue going on bean planting. We have a few more days of that to do. Picking rocks today also, so we'll get into that a little later. I think the day is starting with Johnny went to go get a new tire for the seed tender. We blew one up, or it decided to blow up. Then fill seed on Brody. Hopefully we can get this fixed before he's needing seed. And then send this to get another load of beans. So as you can see, that tire, there's cords hanging out of it. And I think I can take, Johnny's about 20 minutes away. I don't know if I'm gonna wait for him or just take this outside one off, take them all off and put the outside one on the inside and just run it with one less wheel. The seed tender ain't even very full right now. One more dump on it. But I wanna keep the planter going. There's your problem. All the cables busted. Well, it may look stupid, but it's gonna work. Johnny's about a half hour away. He's gonna probably put a new tire on that rim. And then when I get back, we can put both duals on, then go back to town to get seed. But we gotta get this off on Brody, keep planter moving, and this is the only solution I have.
Alright, we are out spraying with the Apache. Currently filling. Going off the sight tube right now. One thing with this new sprayer was they put some flow meters on both ports. And we're having a little bit of trouble with that. Just park it somewhat level and fill like we used to. I got Jordan with me, running the new dash. Been going pretty quick as far as keeping up with the planters now. Things have calmed down the last week. Not running with 2 corn planters makes it easier on my end. But yeah, we're just putting in one chemical harness, our corn pre-emerge. And yes, that is a little bit of harness chemical sitting on top of the 28%. That stuff separates, and when it does it in the sight tube, I can't do nothing about that. We run agitation inside the tank, and that's no trouble then as far as keeping the solution mixed. But it wants separated in that sight tube. And I've drained it out, sprayed the tank out. Very next load, it'll do it again. So, not much I can fix. One new function about this is it's got auto unfold. Which I do have you guys out on the boom. Double tap the rear rack or center rack button here. now she is set up with all the auto boom on. So yeah, I got kind of 3 pages here. My rate controller, we're doing 12.5 gallon work, 60 psi. I got a full tank, and then that there's the auto boom. It's got 5 sensors. Works really good actually. Don't have the wheels on the booms. Get my ladder up. We're gonna go spraying here. That quarter's done for what was planted. I can show you guys. So that was that northeast corner. The water's seeping out of the hills, and that is why we didn't work it, didn't plant it, didn't spray it. But the good news, after that field, little touch-up areas, there's 110-ish acres left to spray, which is also not planted, a little bit wet. And then we will be done with corn pre-emerge. That feels good. Now I'm gonna go hop in the land roller.
Just like that, we're back. And by the time I got back, Johnny had the tire on, and now we are reassembling.
You know, fun fact.
What?
You know what that little dot's for?
What's the red dot for versus the yellow dot?
So the yellow dot, you're supposed to, it's like these aren't balanced. You're supposed to get as close to the valve stem as you can.
You're off 4 inches.
And that's supposed to balance them?
Well, it's supposed to be closer than just no balancing at all. Like they balance the tire itself, and then the theory is that's supposed to make it really close.
So what's the red dot?
I don't know.
Man, we really learned a lot there. Well, this one, I know this is a longer stud. This goes on whichever one this gets attached to.
Probably right there.
Yeah, because then it was double nutted to hold that nice quick pumper for the inside on.
Well, the first field we're land rolling today is actually my only soybean field this year. So that puts me at 100% planted for soybeans. Kind of easy this year. Mostly corn and mostly edible beans. With this field, I'll show you guys this map. So that's me and the red tractor going back and forth. We planted, it's about a 205 acre field, and I put in 140 acres of soybeans. Everything to the south of me, pretty much south of those hog barns, is going to be black bean. So we'll work that up, plant it 2 weeks from now. That's kind of higher ground, little more rolling hills. Like, it's not that it's hilly, but as you go south and go up in elevation, even though it's not much, the soil gets better. Drains a little better, works a lot better for edible beans. Everything north of me, especially the corner right there, which the neighbor's over there working up his side, that corner is very stubborn. That gets into that black gumbo dirt. Not ideal for edible beans. So with that, I'm doing a Stein variety 14 EE21. It's the same variety I had out here in 2023, and it did 70 bushel. I've had hog manure on the field since then. Didn't fertilize any P&K, so I'm going to try to dual crop off that manure, put enough out here to get the P&K I needed for 2 crops in theory. We will see how the soybeans can perform again. Same ground, same variety, little different fertilizer plan. Same population. So that was a lot of info. Moral of the story is, we're farming.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. he is literally just leaving the yard, fixed up. Hopefully that problem fixed or better now, because that thing has been an issue the last couple of years on that same wing, and now hopefully that $1,800 part fixes that problem. I hope. Gotta be a bright side of spending that much money. And me and Dad are gonna be going out doing some burning so we can do some rock picking. We also hired Terraclear to pick 3 fields. They're the worst for rocks. And they are gonna be coming to, I think they're out there, but yeah, we're gonna head out there and go check them out. Dad had to go pick Johnny up, so I'm by myself. Bring out the torch here, and then I'm gonna check on, I see Terraclear's been working here, but I think what we're gonna end up doing, we're trying to burn this side hill off because it's more than what Terraclear is gonna wanna deal with. It's these rocks, the hay buster. Dad wants to get the hay buster here if this burns off decent. Groom this side hill, it's just terrible. I mean, look at this. No one's gonna stop and pick these little guys up, but they're solid. It's just a rock ridge. So I'm going to throw this out currently so that I can go chase across the bumpy field. Show you guys this big picking machine again. So basically what's going on out here is they came out, flew a drone probably about a month ago. Like whenever the snow cover was off, I told them, yeah, I think good time to fly it. Well, the drone picks up all the rocks. So in this field, this is not a very big field, looks 70-acre field. There is 1,059 rocks, and I don't know if you can see. Yeah. So the color coordinated is different sized rocks. You can see where he's been driving and picking. Looks like the 8-inch are green and the blue ones are 10-inch. So he's kind of going for the 10-inch, maybe hitting a few green ones, 8 inches on the way. I told him to go after every one, 1,000 of them. I mean, come on, man. At what point do you just give a guy a break? We wouldn't pick that many, I'll just say that. We're gonna go after the bigger ones, the double handers. I told him if you're driving over an 8-inch and you're right there, pick it. But for the most part, he's looking like he's targeting quite a bit of the blue ones. Then I marked out, there's a dump site. You can dump there. There's a rock. You can click on them and actually see the photos of the rocks. See, like that's not even an 8-inch, that's a 7.1-inch rock. So it's pretty cool. You guys can hire them to just map your fields, and then you know where to go pick them, or they do offer a service where they will come and pick them for you, which is actually very nice. I see the neighbor's got the same idea. Picking rock is a part of it. Big Stone County. He would have been in the farthest corner when I show up too. What's this? Too big to dig, huh? Oh yeah, that looks like a backhoe rock there. Ooh. He probably has no idea I'm here, and I'm gonna scare the heck out of him. Likely. I don't mean to. That bucket is definitely more efficient than the one we have, but it also looks expensive. So that's the area that we were just filming in, and he hit all of those ones. He's trailed around over here, here. He's now right there. And I was looking, I wonder if that rock's on there. So I'm sitting right here looking at that rock right there. Let's look at his image. Yeah, it looks like a blue one. Sure as heck, it's a blue one. Isn't that cool? The granite one, I think. So this is what I'd consider a single-hander. Obviously, I can pick it up with one hand. Would we stop the tractor to pick that one? No. So he's going for bigger than that. Maybe on a certain field you'd stop and pick that, but on a field like this, you'd be here forever. I mean, those things, you get on these little clay hills, kind of where he's targeting, and they're every 2 feet apart. I was just checking. It's still too wet. I was thinking I should burn it off maybe and go through it like we did the last one, but that one's a little damp. This is where he's been dumping. This is the dump site on the map that I pinned where I wanted them dumped. It's like some nice ones. He even picked up a piece of old clay pipe. Old clay tile. There was a big one. Well, we're gonna go light this up, burn the side hill off. Hopefully it works. If you guys have any interest in Terraclear, I'll put the link in the description, or just Google them. They're on all platforms too. Cool what they're doing. That technology is awesome. Like, if you don't want to hire them to pick, you can hire them to map your field, and then you can go out and, you know, that's sweet. I know there's a big farm in this area that hired all their acres, or I shouldn't say that, I don't know for sure, but I know they hired a lot of acres to just be mapped, and then they send their rock picker out, and you don't have to waste time. You drive right up to the rock, pick it, and you leave. So that's cool. I like that technology. We're having them do some of our rockier farms here, about 450 acres right here in a half a mile. So they're gonna be here a day or two and getting it done. It's not on fire, doggo.
We better go check the line out and make sure it ain't gonna get away, 'cause I think it's been dug.
So we didn't till this side hill literally because of the rocks. And now we're gonna burn it off and hopefully be able to rock properly. Hopefully it burns decent, but the yield ain't the best because of literally, look at the ground here. Look at that. It's constant rocks.
Oh, are we gonna have some fun this afternoon? Seems like corn planting went by too fast. Now, well, all I'll do is I'll just show you, so you know what "and now" means. It's time to battle the hay buster rock picker. I'm not knocking the rock picker, it's a great machine, but this one just happens to be, well, it's picked a lot of rock, and it might want to be done picking rock, as I want to be done picking rock, but that's not the way it works. And when you're farming, you're never done picking rock, as all of us know, especially easily reminded when you drive by all of the piles of rock that are located around the countryside, such as this one. They're all over. Anyway, on this side of the lake, it's well, it's just part of it. You got a farm, you got a rock pile. Well, I have reached my destination. We just have to go up there to that, well, it's all black because we actually did not do fall tillage last fall up there, knowing that we want to rock rake it. It's just unbelievable with rock on that one spot. Plan was to burn it off last fall, but it was too wet, so that didn't get done. So we done it this spring. I'm thinking we're gonna have to bring a digger over here, get the rocks loosened up, and then hopefully the big buster is gonna be able to clean them up nicely. Well, I've surveyed it, and I think I'm gonna start from each side and work in, keeping the tractor from driving on as many of them as I can. I don't know, when I survey it, I also think of it as I'm gonna show the rocks what's coming for them. Intimidation factor. It's all about you cooperate, or you're gonna get this is gonna go good, or it's gonna go rough. It's really hard to see through the back window. You really got to be outside to enjoy the full experience, I'd say. Okay, that's load number one. There is some corn stalks that have accumulated in there, but I was not in the area that was totally burnt off. I was in a little trashy area because fire did not burn the best on the edges of the area. So that really ain't too bad. Beats picking them by hand. And we will let it go back down so we can do number two. Maybe I could speed the hydraulics up. Then I could bust a hose too. I gave it my best. I can't get her. I can move it, but I can't get it up and out of the hole. So we're gonna have to call in the backhoe. She's the size of the table. You can see by the girth, she's got weight to her. So I'll have to call home, get the backhoe down here, and tell them to bring the wide load sign, because she's a biggin'. I've got a saying, just because you can, don't mean you should. I think it survived though. I don't see a big bow in it. Believe it or not, you can put a bow in your loader, so you can never push snow again if you get too rough with a bucket, because the bottom, the center gets a big smile to it. Is that the right word? Yeah, you can wreck your loader, so you got to be careful. That's why I always say, just because you can, don't mean you should. That's also against my rules. Never open the back window. Too dusty. Wow. This is getting carried away. I really don't know. If I'd have known what I know now, I think I'd have brought the payloader down and parked that, or had somebody run the payloader, so every time I fill up, I could have just dumped right into him, and then he could have dumped into the big dump cart. Because this, I've got more time into driving back and forth. After we dug it, I first picked it and then dug it, field cultivator or digger. Now I'm producing. We're producing. So I think, well, that's the way that is. You always know what to do after you start doing it. So hindsight 2020. I'm about half done, maybe a little over, and we'll just keep on driving back and forth, I suppose. Make a highway out of the good part of the field from packing it down.
We're slicing and dicing. The reason I'm out here is because, well, miscommunication, or last fall's tillage operators figured we better till up this grass road along this field, which was there for the minnow guy. So we have to try to fix it, but it's kind of soddy. The digger just rips up sod, so I'm coming here with this to slice and dice, and then the skid loader's gonna pack it all down and hope the sod grows back. Not the end of the world, but it's another job added to the list. So it isn't much, and like I said, it ain't the end of the world because the grass will grow back. But like right here is where one wheel track was. The other wheel track was out here, and they worked up 5 feet for the guys. Well, whatever, they take their boat down to this here and trap minnows. So we brought this out here because this is going to size these chunks, and I would imagine the minnow guy would appreciate not to be bouncing out of the vehicle. And back behind the big 4200, I mean, no more, there's one chunk, but a lot better. Then we're gonna run the skid loader here and just pack it all down, and hopefully it regrows, and yeah. If 1 time's good, 2 times better. Ooh, that looks nice. Looks real nice. Dusty. It's not so good going the other direction. It's coming over the cab. It's light and variable wind. Right now it's going kind of that way. It works okay, but then sometimes the wind switches and goes towards Randy over there, and that comes over the cab. I hope we're not heading towards the drought. I'm not gonna panic because we ain't in a drought, but this is also the driest conditions I've farmed in the last, I don't know how many springs. It's been a blessing, actually. She is a dust throwing bugger, the big 4200 sulfur. So I want to show you guys a little side-by-side difference between field cultivator and then this thing. Now the baskets alone on this are doing a lot of it, but I want to show you more so the chopping effect of the unit. So right here, I was slowing down there, so I want to give you a full speed type of comparison, both operating speeds. This is probably good enough. So this is the 4200, obviously. There's the machine. Very minimal root balls. Trash is sized. Then we're gonna go over to the field cultivator. Now I know there's new field cultivators you can get with rolling baskets, which would be huge. But there's no sizing with a field cultivator. Like, look at, you got a lot of this, tons of it. The residue is not chopped up, buried. I mean, this is if you're going for a seed bed, this is terrible compared to over there. Now, we run the diggers all the time, and this one periodically, because of size, the diggers cover ground we need to plant. If this is soybeans, not as big of a deal, but corn, seed bed's a huge deal. So this one definitely does a better seed bed prep, no questions about it. But size comparison, you can get bigger ones of these. It just then becomes a horsepower issue. But if you could pull this somehow, it's pulling this at 11 miles an hour, so I guess you don't have to go 11, so you could upsize. So this is 36 feet, does about 43 acres an hour average. They make them bigger, just becomes a horsepower issue, but I guess you don't have to go 11 miles an hour. You can go 8, 9 and still do a good job. But with that being said, in certain ground types, like our heavy ground type, this thing don't work because the ground's just so hard. Like, well, it works good in the fall, does not work good in the spring because the ground's just so wet and tight. It likes to slab, don't like to go in the ground in the wheel tracks, but in this more mellow soil, it works just unbelievable. So it's a management decision thing, once again, like everything in farming. Wow, there's a lot of dirt in the tracks. Randy actually pulled out. This thing was doing such a good job. He said, I really like what that's doing. Keep on going. So I went out for a 5-minute job, and I've been at it all afternoon. I think I've probably done, well, this is 160 plus, I don't know, maybe 40 over there. About 200 acres. So actually we're kind of getting to the point where we're not really working up ground more than what he can plant the next day. So this will be planted tomorrow, just because there's moisture down there. By no means are we over dry, but we don't want to get to that point. So you know, it's winding down and we're shutting down at like 8 o'clock. I gotta go pick up Dad and Randy, but things are going quite smooth. So, and a great 10-day forecast. Amazing, actually. There's going to be a ton of corn and soybeans put in the next week. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to pick them up. Brody is disappointed. He's averaging 298 acre days planting soybeans, and he's like, oh, why couldn't, it's 8 o'clock at night, why couldn't there be another 40? I could get to 300. That's just his little goal. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go grab them. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. We truly do appreciate it, and hope to see you in the next one.